lower carbs and control weight and blood sugar? Well, you know, I put people on a high-carb diet all the time. And you know what? Their blood sugar's under better control. You know what? They start losing weight. Contrary to everything that the high-protein people say, they start losing weight. And you know what? Blood sugar is under better control. This is a sample of 6 people that were on one of my programs. This was their beginning blood sugar, and every single case, their blood sugar came down. Every single case. And I can, by the way, if anybody ever challenged me, I could put up all the charts, and I can show blood sugar goes down on this high-carb diet. People say, how can you recommend a high-carb diet for somebody who's diabetic? I said, because I dropped their sugar. I take some of them off insulin. And all of the other numbers improve. Cholesterol, the ratio, triglycerides, blood sugar, etc. Now, how do you pick good carbohydrates that don't raise your blood sugar? How many of you have heard of the glycemic index? You know, it tells you how high blood sugar will rise in response to eating a certain food. Okay? Now, here's a myth that I also want to bust tonight. How many of you have heard that you should eat more complex carbohydrates? Well, hello. Would it surprise you to find out that that's not a good recommendation? It should, because I even hear dietitians say that even now. And I actually teach a class at the medical school to try to get the health professionals to realize that's not a good recommendation. Do you know why? Because you see, complex carbohydrate means starch. Okay? Simple carbohydrate means sugar. Plain and simple. I'm going to show you something very interesting. You see this table? On the left column I have simple carbs. Glucose, very high glycemic number. Sucrose, very high. Apples, not so high, but it's almost all sugar. Cherries, even lower. Look at complex carbs. White bread, 100. That's high. Here's the surprise. Whole wheat bread, 99. Uh-oh. Brown rice, lower, 79. Stone ground whole wheat bread, 61. Do you know what they're finding out now? That if you divide between simple and complex, you're really not going to know what's a good carb or what's not a good carb. See, if I divide it down the middle and say, well, simple on the left, avoid, complex on the right, eat more, you will turn out wrong a lot of the time if you use refined processed carbs. You know how they should be dividing it? If you draw a line horizontally and you look above it, these are all processed. If you take the difference between processed and unprocessed, now you know how to find a good carbohydrate. Okay? In this book, I wrote a book called The Good Carbohydrate Revolution, which I don't have for sale here. By the way, if I sell books, 100% of it goes to nonprofit. I have a chapter in there, how to find good carbs, and there are 5 C's. The character, whether whole or processed, is the main thing. Carbohydrate type. When I say type, you know, for example, fructose doesn't raise carbs as much as glucose. Fiber content of fiber. Calorie density, which is what I was telling you, and the composition of the food and meal. If you eat a little bit of sugar, but it's in a salad dressing and you got a big salad, well, that sugar is not going to bother you because the fiber from the salad is going to slow down the absorption.